safersigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
There we are. That was the top bit of the show. Hello.
Good evening.
Are you fit?
I'm fine, and you?
Well, you know, walking about and breathing, doing
Well,
what you can when you can, if you can.
Must be the haircut.
What haircut? I've had my head sharpened, it's true.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
as you do.
You do it yourself?
Yes. Wouldn't trust anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know my own head,
yes.
you know.
Yes.
Yes, know my own head.
Good job, yes.
Yes. All very good. I love the way people come into chat and wait until we're just about to start and then say, are you going to be talking about? We don't just make it up as we go along.
Very funny.
We don't. No, actually we don't. We do know what we're going to do. We just don't know what we're going to say before we say it. That's just the way it goes,
Well,
isn't
I
it?
hope you do. I certainly don't.
Well, I've got a reasonable idea.
Oh, good.
Oh, yes. Tonight's going to be a night of many parts.
Well, for me, it's always the element of surprise.
Oh, I'm big on that, like. I'm big on that. I do like, you know, to keep you on your toes and stuff like that.
Good.
Yes. People will say the back of your head now, look. Yes.
Yes.
Stop it. Stop messing about, David. Stop. Naughty boy. Tonight, I'm going to build on what Dave Kitson did on Sunday night with the E-leaf iStick. The E-leaf iStick. The E-leaf iStick. But I also have another device which fits on an E-leaf iStick quite nice. Did you know about the E-leaf iSticks?
No.
You've got to try and say it 3 times fast.
E-leaf iSticks, E-leaf iSticks, E-leaf iSticks.
Clever bugger. It's easy for you to say.
How do you say it?
Very carefully. I just call it an iStick.
Right.
It's the easiest way.
E-leaf iStick.
E-leaf iStick. Not an I-leaf e-stick.
No.
Or a stick leaf.
No.
Yes. Anyway, yes. What was I going to say? I hope you're keeping an eye on chat.
I am.
Good lad. That's what we like to hear. Yes. What was I going to say? Yes. I've got a new device that fits on there, which has come from the Joyetech stable. The Delta 19. We're going to be taking a look at that. We'll catch up on the eGrip, which I gave the first look to last week. Some good news on that one. And there's a whole host of other stuff as well. Did you know you can buy a cross between an electric fire and an e-cig? I didn't know that, but you can. So we did, and I've got some video of that as well. It's going to be a feature-packed show, isn't it, Keith?
It is.
So I
If you say
suppose,
so.
well, I think it absolutely will be. So I suppose we ought to say hello,
Hello.
good evening,
Good evening.
and welcome to
the
what's it called?
the Haze Hour.
The Haze Hour. Boy, there's some
Thank
Mickey
God
take.
for that.
There's some Mickey takers getting out with chat, isn't there? The Haze Hour. Why, man? It's scrolled off
My
now.
head is in a fog.
Yes, Max Drum's head usually is in a fog. Comes with coils and stuff like that. Kizzy says a big hello to DD, Keith and team. Hello, Kizzy.
Good
now,
evening.
I'm gonna remind everybody, if you want. Right, I will get this right one of these days. If you want to, you can tweet your comments using the hashtag Haze Hour on Twitter. We're reading chat, but you can use the hashtag Haze Hour, capital H for Haze Hour, and we'll see your tweets and we'll get to them at various different points during the course of the show. And if you've got something to say it. I might even ask for specific comments you just don't know. I don't know.
Right.
We don't make this up as we go along, do we?
No.
No, not even remotely slightly. Aye, electric fires and e-cigs crossed. Who would have thunk it in it?
Yeah, it's a good angle, really, that. Yeah.
It intrigued me
Yes.
when I saw these things,
Yes.
and my wife was intrigued.
Oh, I know she was.
Very intrigued. So she decided we'd have one, as you do. It's electric
Yes.
fire. It's like a fan heater.
Yes.
And I said to her, I says, what do you want a fan heater for? Is your bottom cold? That's a joke for the American viewers, by the way.
Very impressive.
I thought so. Yes.
Not the joke, the fire.
Oh, right. Well, anyway, now, you know everybody keeps on talking about the crack of dawn.
Yes.
Well, when they came to install it, I decided the thing to do was to do a time-lapse video of the installation happening.
Right.
So we'll show you that, and we'll show you the fire, because seriously, it is literally, it's a cross between an e-cig and an electric fire. And if I could only remember what number I've got it on, that would make life an awful lot easier to remember which number to press in order to start it. It's that one's number 3. So have a look at this. It's a cross between an electric. It's getting put in. Spot the builder's bum. Here it comes. So this is the final thing, and what you can see there looks like flames, doesn't it? But let's take a look in the drawer. And what you can actually see is not flame, it's vapour. And if I get this right, you'll see here a water tank, which you can put a little bit of glycerol in if you so desire, and then a vaporizer. That's the e-cig bit, and then the yellow lights underneath. When we push it in there, make the vapour look like a real fire, a cross between an electric fire and an e-cig. Cracking.
Think of that,
Aye,
you know.
you see?
Yeah.
Now, it's an electric fire that looks as though it's got flames, and it uses vapour. I'm here to tell you there's a little bit of glycerin that I put in. Just put tiny little wee bit. If we were talking...
You did. They don't tell you to put glycerin.
No. I just put a tiny little wee bit in just to make it... Yes, Kizzy says... It looks like his trousers are arguing with his waist. Yes, it's endemic amongst gentlemen in the northeast of England, I'm here to tell you. Butt crack is something we do extremely well. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, now here's the thing. This is the important part. That atomizer that you saw, the full width of that fire, and that tank, by the way, is a litre, right? That atomizer, atomizing that vapour up, runs at 3 watts, and you can see how much it's putting away, and that is 99% water.
Aye.
3 watt atomizer. It seems to me somebody out there needs to be taking one to bits and sorting out an atomizer mod that can use whatever it is that's using. Can you just imagine what you would get off a 4.2 volt battery driving something like that?
Being asked, does it fog out the living room? Well, no.
No, it doesn't. It's because because it's using, right, let's think about this sensibly. Here I have in my hand, that's nearly as close to 100% glycerin as I can get. It's my mix with the ethyl maltol in. So 7.5% of it is ethyl maltol and PG. The rest is pure VG, right? And let's have a quick blast, and I'll blow it kind of at the camera, and we'll see how long it lingers. And we'll see if it lingers longer. Right, so. There you are, it's going in your general direction. Now you'll see how it starts to clear. There's a little bit here, look. It starts to clear very quickly. But if you can imagine your breath on a cold day, which is pure water vapour, how quick that disappears, that's exactly the same with that fire. But my thinking is, if it can produce that kind of haze, that kind of vapour, with 99.9% water, what would it do with pure glycerin?
And of course, that vapour is concentrated, isn't it? It doesn't come out
No.
of the fire surround.
No, just goes up the fire. I mean, it's cracking. Absolutely
So
cracking.
is there some kind of fan in there, do you reckon?
Well, there is a heating fan above it, yes, but there's a little bit of something is blowing the vapour through. Ian Green said, so it's a refillable tank, DD. Yes, it's non-TPD compliant.
So, if you put the heat on,
Yes,
presumably there are several heat settings.
there's two.
Does that have any effect on the vapour production from the tank?
No. Well, it kind of, it makes it come in stits and farts, so it looks a little bit more natural. You know how flames burn up and what have you? And it kind of varies the current of air around it. It's all good. No, there's not a fan drawn from the top, Gary. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. That atomizer is a 3-watt atomizer, and it's that long. That long. And that is whacking the vapour out. Somebody really needs to have a look at that. For those who might be able to find out from technical from the tech specs, it's made by Dimplex. Have a look, see what you can find out. I think Gary might be right. It's an ultrasonic atomizer, and if that's the case, I want somebody make me an ultrasonic atomizer mod, please, because that thing's blitzing it out. But what I was going to say was, that's running at 3 watts. On its way to me from China, even as we speak, is a 100% guaranteed, genuine God mod. And that runs, you know that one we showed on the programme a couple of weeks ago, that runs at anywhere between 180 and 200 watts it'll go to, with 3 batteries in. So there's one on its way, and it just got me to thinking a little bit. I'm going to have this thing in my hand that'll deliver 200 watts of power, 180 watts of power, and that fire is delivering 3 watts into its atomizer. That kind of says it all. There's a long way to go with these things yet, I think. Yes.
Because I think those fires are new technology, aren't they?
Relatively new. I've not seen them before.
I've seen one, not like that, but in a showroom.
Yes. I really should have my other glasses on. Oh, let's take a couple of tweets that are coming in. Put that up. Ding. It kills me that happens. I keep forgetting to switch the shots. Right. What have we got? Where's it gone? There we go. We'll start with this one. This has come from John M. Dow. He wants a t-shirt with Keith on it.
God almighty.
Just thought I'd put that out. And Neil Yoda dude says, oh look, I'm on the Haze Hour screen. Top show guys, vape on. I can't read that. Evening boys, there you go. Yes. And Vaping Juggler says, I know that the weekend's almost here, the Haze Hour's on, there you go. And the Fury 79 says it's a kick-ass fire, which it is, absolutely a kick-ass fire. And news just in from the World Health Organization, vapor fires make children smoke more and thus should be inserted upon collective. Oh, I so like that one. That's absolutely cracking. Thank you for that. Who was that from? Let me just check that again. I've got to put that up again. That's from the Fury 79, Andy Aybrook, who apparently wears glasses. Who knew? I didn't know. There you go. One says he has designs for a wickless Atty. He'll build it eventually, but the parts are pricey. I'm telling you, yes, those parts are almost certain to be quite pricey. But it just does show where the technology can go, doesn't it?
Well, that's a stage in advance from the one we've got that inspired Jill to look at those. Because ours is just electric bulbs and these moving sort of flaps that create a... Well, you've seen it.
I have, yes. It's just the way you
sort of
describe
plastic things that wave.
So what you're actually saying is it's you to blame.
Yes, well, yes, I suppose. Well, not me.
Hey,
but,
no, I'm.
you know.
I'm. Listen, it's a thank you rather than a blame. I'm over the moon with it, and I do like the idea that even though at some point in time somebody might have something to say against my e-cigs, then they're gonna have a hell of a job pulling that bloody fire out.
I think that's really clever.
It is. It is. And the two lads, they'll take bookings. They'll go all over the country to put them in. So there you go. There you are. That was interesting. I thought that was interesting. I hope it's interested you, because I find the technology is absolutely fabuloso. Right, now, you might have gathered as well, during the course of the week, every show that you'll have seen so far has played a certain piece of video in. And I know you haven't seen this, and I want you to see this.
Right.
And I want to ask everybody, please, to get as many people as possible to see this. Post it to people, email it to people, do whatever you can. This is Professor Peter Hayek. I know you've seen it a lot this week, and I hope everybody's going to see it an awful lot more. Relax and enjoy sense and the truth as it should be told.
So regarding my research, the main focus is on understanding tobacco dependence and developing treatments for dependent smokers. My colleagues and I did a number of studies which influenced the tobacco control policies worldwide, and we also developed a number of treatments which are used around the world. Regarding e-cigarettes, that's a relatively new development, and our current studies are looking at toxins content, how much nicotine people get from them, how quickly they get it, the behavior of e-cigarette users, and so on. There is a remarkable controversy around electronic cigarettes, and I think future textbooks will be writing about it. There's going to be books about this controversy. Some people see them as a huge potential for benefiting public health, and other people are trying vigorously to get rid of them. The reason for it is that it's a disruptive technology. It's a bit like when digital cameras came about and they killed film cameras industry and lots of related industries. And e-cigarettes have a potential to do something similar. It threatens not just sales of cigarettes, but it already massively undermines sales of stop smoking medications, which is a big business, and also threatens lots of established positions in tobacco control. And so there's a lot of people out there who are vigorously trying to get rid of them. Potentially they are revolutionary. They pose very small or maybe no health risks. They do not attract new users to nicotine so far. And they have a potential to help smokers to switch to something safe from something tremendously dangerous. And so if on a population scales, smokers switched from conventional cigarettes to e-cigarettes, there will be an enormous public health benefit. What is the purpose of what we are doing? We are trying to help regulators and politicians to put their policies on a sort of rational basis, to provide evidence which would guide such regulations. At the moment, it's really driven by vested interests and unsupported worries about lots of things which are really they shouldn't worry about. And I have to say, when e-cigarettes came about, initially, like everybody else, I thought it doesn't look too good. It's just another attempt to keep people smoking when smoking rates have been declining for years, although not very quickly, but they were. And so the first reaction is sort of understandably negative. It looks like a cigarette, people still are getting nicotine. I think the key point is that nicotine itself is harmless, which is something most people do not appreciate. Nicotine itself is probably on par with drinking coffee in terms of health risks. It's the chemicals in smoke which kill people. And here you don't have it. And once you start to think about it and look through the fact, and you realize the potential of the device, you change your opinion. So the opinions should change with evidence rather than staying rigid, whatever comes, and saying this is evil and we have to get rid of it.
There you go. That was Professor Peter Hayek telling the truth. What do you make of that, Keith?
That was really succinct, to the point, a brilliant advertisement, I would have thought. And he was drawing the comparison between nicotine and coffee, like on that doctor's programme that was on a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Perfect. Perfect.
That is one piece of video that everybody in tobacco control should be made to sit in front and watch 40 or 50 times until they understand every last word that Professor Hayek has to say. The man, as he said in that video, came from a point of view where he thought, hang on, these are just been designed to keep people smoking, to the point now where he realises, and he's prepared to stand on his hind legs and tell everybody, these are a good thing. Let everybody see it. Send it viral. Send it round the world. What do you reckon?
Send a few thousand DVDs and post them. But there again, people will only watch, or people of influence will only watch what they want to watch.
I tell you what.
In the same way as, you know, they would select negative information and ignore positive. There are people like that in positions of influence, particularly politicians.
That's very, very true. That is very, very, very true. I've had an idea. If you've got a thumb drive, you know these little USB memory sticks, that actually works out to about 9.5, 10 megs, something like that, so you can get it on just about any thumb drive. Take it to every vape shop you go to, and if they've got a telly, get them to put it on whatever it is they play onto their telly, and have them play it out time after time after time. Everybody should say that. It's fantastic.
So what's that guy's background?
Well, right at the beginning he said he's been responsible for much of the NRT that you see. He's done most of the research on it. I think he more or less invented patches and gums and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
He was right at the very start. And he's completely convinced by e-cigs. So he's the world authority on nicotine, addiction, NRT, tobacco harm reduction,
and of course
all
he
of
touched
it.
upon the vested interests, didn't he, as well?
Yes. Oh yes. Yes. Vested interests. Somebody did say in chat, did he make reference to corruption there? Who can say? On that note, shall we take the advert?
Yes.
And when we come back, we're going to talk iStick. And yes, who the hell ever said that was red? He's more colourblind than I am. Even I know it's pink. Back in 3.
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Joyetech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.
safersix.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
Yes, we're back and live in the room. Somebody did type in, would a certain particular company be getting a mention on the Haze Hour tonight? No, they're not going to get a mention on the Haze Hour tonight because I'm not going to give them the oxygen of publicity. Those of you that follow me on Twitter and saw the spat that was on earlier on will know why, but I am not going to give them the oxygen of publicity because what they've done, I think, is under the armpit. However, we do have a hello to say, and let's hope this all works properly this time. If I click on the right one there and then I click on here, you will see Disco Des says, please say hi to my girlfriend Kathy. It's the first night she's moved in with me. Thank you. Des, what the hell are you doing watching this? You daft butt. Your prostate will thank you, trust me. But honestly, what a fella. Girlfriend's moved in for the first night. I hope she's sitting watching. If you are, hiya Kathy. Lovely. Are you a vapor? I hope so. All good. There you go. Ah, right, yes. Apparently there was people who needed warnings in chat because the Haze Hour advert is a little bit loud. But you're going to the knees mate, aren't you?
I hope to pop in, yes.
He's gonna be at the knees. Keith's gonna be, look, that fella there, Keith, he's gonna be at the knees mate. The knees mate, Keith's gonna be there. You've got to come. You've got to he's not let out of the house very often.
Right.
Because his wife's got him on a short leash, isn't that right?
Well, if you say so.
Well, you know.
Well, I hope to bring me brother-in-law.
Oh, he's bringing gusts as well. Are you going to the knees mate? I hope you are. Be there or be an oblate spheroid. There'll be e-leaf iSticks by the millions, I think.
You think so?
Everybody's after them. Have you seen one?
No.
Oh, let's get closey uppy cam out. Closey uppy cam, and we'll go with the pink one. Make sure it's in shot, David. There we are. Long distance closey uppy cam. This is it.
I wouldn't quite agree that's pink, you know.
Well, what colour would you say it is?
I don't know, but it's not pink.
It's not red.
It's a purpley pink, if there's such a thing.
A
mauvey pink.
We better not get into purple and pink together. You know
a
what chat's
mauvey
like.
pink.
You know what chat is like. Right. Dave gave you a quick run round on Sunday. Let me do something similar if I can. Let's first off take off, and I blame Sav for that, by the way. That there is an Aspire Mini Nautilus, and it is fabulous. But there's something that might even be better. This is it. This is the E-Leaf iStick, and it is a 20 watt power controlled mod. Let's go to mega close up you can, and then you can see. Turn it the right way up, David, and then people can read what it says. Now currently it's sat at 11.5 watts, but if you give it 3 clicks, it goes to volts.
All right.
Give it another 3 clicks, and it goes back to watts. And then your uppy downy buttons are here at this end, so you can click up, and if you hold it, it goes into auto mode, and if you give it a click again, it goes up in 2s. Stop it. It'll go faster. So it's auto, fingers off stuff, right? And I'll hold it down and knock it back down again, because if I've got it too high.
So what does it start off at?
Alright, let's go all the way down to the bottom. It doesn't cycle from the top, it's up and down. I've not seen it cycle anyway. But it'll run from, come on, faster you pig. There we go. Look at that, all the way down, just keep going down, 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 down. It'll go all the way down to 3 watts, except that it's going down even further. It goes down to 2 watts, except that the only way you can get 2 watts on here is if you've got a 5 ohm atomizer on it.
Right.
Because it will only deliver, the lowest voltage it'll deliver is the voltage of that the battery inside it has charged.
Right.
Right? That's the lowest it'll go. And then all the way up to 20 watts. So I'll just hold it down and press it on. But it's very, very neat. Very, very neat. But earlier today, I took it to bits.
Right.
Because I wanted to know what was inside it. Let's stop that there and just a quick run round it. 510 connector, as you would expect. It's not an Ego connector. You can get them in a kit with an Ego adapter that'll screw into there. And there's also, coming onto the market, a bender. You see these 2 grooves here? Yeah? This bender goes in, screws in, and it'll then flip your atty. So instead of being on the end like that, it goes round like that for travelling around.
Right.
And then when you want to use it, it just clips back up. That's the bending unit that's coming out fairly shortly. At the other end, this is a whistle stop tour, mini USB. But the interesting part is what is actually inside the whole thing.
Does the weight complement the size?
Well, I tell you what, have a feel of the black one. And there's the pink one with nothing on, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Light. Very light. Very, very, very light. Do you want to see what's inside one?
Right.
Let's try and show you what's inside one. So you catch me at the point where I have disassembled the pink E-Leaf iStick. This is the pink E-Leaf iStick here. So right, let's see where it gets us, shall we? Let's show you what's involved. Let's go close up. Right, so you can see that the battery inside is in fact an 18650. If I put a canned up one in there, it is 18650 in size. You can also see here a heatsink. You can see here, this is the OLED display, the up and down buttons, micro USB charge socket, and you can also see that it's a 2-sided board. And just to prove it's working, if I press the fire button and turn it round, you will see it says no atomizer. And if by the same token, and I'll use the tweezers for this, it's at 5.1 watts, whether it'll go any further up than that I don't know. 5.2, there you go, these are the buttons. So this is what is inside the E-leaf iStick. Now let's have a look at the build quality on this, and you can see, if I just move this across, this is the positive connection here, which is quite well clagged in. Negative goes to here, so the whole of this plate is the negative connection, which again is fine. Good metal. I like the heatsink on there, that's all good. And you can see that both ends of the battery are insulated here. So let's put it back together. Now the cover I've taken off, I've had to get off in order to be able to slide it out, because here it is, and it's just held by double-sided sticky tape over a spacer, which I couldn't get the slide out as was. You've got to get the buttons out in order to do this. So it's completely disassemblable, which is always a good thing, I think. Right, so let's go to putting it back together. And very simply, you just slide it. You see there's guide rails in there. I don't know whether you can see that very easily, but there's proper little slots for the guides to get everything in. I'm going to go the other way on because I can't do it left-handed as I was trying to. I do apologise. Alright, so, and the thing is to get it in the right rail, which we've done, and it should just slide gently back in. You can see the buttons through there, so we push that right in, and then we'll need to slot that back in. The fire button then drops in like that. I'll just check it. No atomizer. So that works. And then the up and down buttons, pressing in the right directions of course, slot in. It's easier to use a pair of tweezers, I think. Trying to do this so you can see what I'm actually doing. That's it. And then that section goes back on. There it is. Down, up, down, fire. No atomizer. So that's all good. And then the bottom cap. Now these are held on by these, go back to the real close up, held on by these tiny weeny screws, and they are tidgy widgy, and as luck would have it, it's a 1.5 mil. It's either a T5 Torx or it's a 1.5 mil hex. So I'll just wind that in. And you don't need to see the rest of those going in. That's basically it. That's how it all happens. It's fairly straightforward. Nicely built. Talk a bit more in the studio, eh? Aye. So there you have it. Now, there's been some questions. One is there enough slack on the centre connector to be able to prise it up and put another O-ring on? No. Right at the beginning, well, halfway through, you'll have seen that there's a tiny, well, not a tiny, there's a big lump of mastic or whatever it is on the centre connector, the back of the centre connector, that'll stop that from pushing through. It is an issue. I know a lot of people have had bits of an issue with the centre pin being a little bit too far down. It's not something I've come across, I've got to be honest, with what I've been using, which is the Mini Nautilus. Contacts it quite nicely, and Keith seems to be enjoying it. What are you running that at, Keith?
It was, let's see, well, whether this is true, 6.5 watts.
And let's have a quick look and see how many volts that is, because I cannot work it out. 3.5 volts, yes, that could well be the case. Is that alright for you at that?
Yeah, I would suspect the juice is too strong.
It is my juice, like.
Yes.
So it's
but
fairly
yes,
yes, it's
I mean, I'm finding that a problem to inhale, but I mean, certainly as from the production point of view, excellent. And before somebody else says it, it's perfectly pocketable, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, that's sorry, that's 40 milligram juice that's in there.
Right, that's probably, yes.
Which will be why it's fairly hefty. Yes, yes.
Nice.
It is. It's very well. Go on, then top pocket it. Let's check it. Will it
Oh,
do
the
it?
top pockets, yes. Without it being obvious.
Yes.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Well, do you want to borrow it till Saturday?
Yeah, because yes, that's very kind. Yeah.
Right, that and the Mini Nautilus you can have till Saturday, but I'm going to film you on Saturday, and you can talk about it.
I don't know whether that's a bargain.
I think that's only fair, don't you, chat and Twitterizers? Hey, I've just seen the time. I better take some adverts because we've got to have a look at this little beastie here. Move the blue mouse, David. Got to have a look at that. Also, as you can see, on top of an iStick. Put it the other way up and then it looks like it's on top. Yes, we'll talk about that after the break. Back in 3 minutes.
SaveTheSigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
LP Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
RY4 Radio.
safercigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.
And we's back in the room. Welcome back to the Haze Hour with me, Dave Dawn, and Keith Herbert, my partner in crime. Isn't he?
Crime, yes.
Crime, yes. Right, yes. So, the Delta 19. Now, anybody that's already tried a Delta tank, the big Delta tank that fits normally onto an eVic Supreme, but I have on a ZNA 50 here because I've been running it at 30 watts, because you do. There's no way.
Yeah.
You'll not handle it. No way. Do you want to try it at 30?
No.
No, I didn't
No,
think
thank
so.
you.
Somehow. Right. So, Delta tank, close you up with two. Right. Delta tank. There you are. Big Delta tank. Take that out because it doesn't come with it. And the ecig baby Delta tank. The Delta tank 19 or the Delta 19 tank. Same height, but of narrower width. Let's put the two together like that, and then you can see that's 19 millimeters across. Right now, take the other one out of the way. Let's have a quick look. I mean, it is. I don't need to do everybody a guided tour, I'm sure, but it's pretty standard. It's got the 3 air holes, big slots as air holes. Go on to really close you up, you can, David, and then they can see. You can see the big air holes, and you can see there Delta 19 is what it's called. So let's take the base off, and there's what you get inside. And if you look down inside, you can see the construction of that absolutely beautifully, I think. Triple coil, C3, triple coil, and this one is at, it's a dual coil, and it's 1.6 ohm. Yes, it's a 1.6 ohm dual coil in the Delta 19, but you can put the triples in if you want to. So this one's a dual coil one. Usual construction that you would expect, I suppose, of a Delta tank. There it is. The usual fill routine, so it's might as well do it while it's here because I'll need to, because I'm enjoying it. Let's crackle that down. Doosh down the sides, just like that, and then it all goes back in. The construction is much as you would expect from the Delta tank. It is built like a brick outhouse, and it comes supplied with this drip tip, which is actually a very nice drip tip. It's not that great big black thing that comes as standard with the Delta. That's what you get as a drip tip now, and that, I think, looks the business. So let's screw it onto the iStick and see what occurs. Put the iStick in place, screw the Delta in. I'm trying to do this so that you'll be able to see if there's overhangs and things, because I did see in chat that there's people that don't like overhangs, which is a bit of a burglar, but there you are. If I get that right, you can see that overhang is minimal, absolutely minimal. Yeah, and that's sweaty fingers, David. For the benefit of doubt, I have a black and pink A-leaf iStick. I am going to get a blue and a stainless steel one. I really like them. That's how good they are. This Delta tank, though, I think fits on very nicely, and I'm running this at 14 watts. It's a dual coil, so it'll not be too bad a hit for you, I don't think.
I see that drip tip just slotted in rather than you didn't need to screw that in.
You don't screw any in for a 510.
Right.
You just push in. Unlike the ones that you had on
Yes.
the old CE4s, they did screw in. This is a dual coil, and it's really. I'm going to go to Keith Cam and peep round the corner. Hello, viewers. And I'll give it a blast. I'm craning me neck here. Hang on. I'll do it that way. And then I can see into that camera, you see. It's like, hello. And I'll give you the blast.
Wow.
Magic trick.
Yes.
There he was, gone.
It dispersed quickly. That.
Have a blast. Say what you think. Dual coil in there. crackling like a good one, isn't it?
Oh yes.
Stu Pot Lee's just said there's no point in asking what tank to get with an iStick. I'll get 1,000 different answers. You're probably right, actually. But that's really nice. X19 Silent 79X has said there's too much overhang. Seriously, do you want me to measure it? It's tiny.
The overhang is about parallel with the button.
Yes.
I mean, there's hardly any there at all.
I wouldn't have called it overhang.
No, neither would I.
I would not have called it overhang. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Let's just have a quick look about the place.
I mean,
here.
if you run your finger down it, there's hardly any overhang at all.
Well, no. I'm just going to bring up that's being posted up onto Twitter. Vaping Juggler has the Fury 79's RT, the Vaping Juggler, who said, now on the Haze Hour, mods get naked, not moderators this time. Yes. I wonder what that was about. And Jester2109, well known to all of us, is unable to watch the Haze Hour this evening as he's unable to get a stable enough signal on the train. Sad face. Sad face. That's very sad. What do you make of that then, Keith?
Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah,
It's good, isn't it?
very good.
Hang on a minute, you've already got the pink one, give us the black one back. And you're
Yeah,
right.
that just goes with the button.
I think so. I think so. As tanks go, I like the Delta tank a lot, and I know Sav likes the Delta tank. She also likes very much the Nautilus Mini Nautilus on the iStick. I like this Delta 19 on the iStick. I think it's cracking. And it was also pointed out in chat that Totally Wicked have got the iStick in. They're calling it, I think it's the Curve. I think somebody will no doubt tell me. And you're getting a bottle of juice thrown in, the charger. It's the full kit for 40 quid with 10 mils of juice as well, I think it is. So there you go. Carl Richardson has said pink or red. Listen, you decide. I don't think that's red. I really, really do think that is pink. I do. It's not red. I've got
Well,
something.
it's not red, no.
It's not red. Look, that's red on the edge of that battery. That's definitely a fuchsia, purpley pink is what that is.
And that is pink.
That
Light pink.
That's a light pink. That's flesh. I would have called that flesh. But yes, it's. I think it's pink. It's definitely pinker than red. Anyway, you'll be sporting that until Saturday. You've got to wave it when you come into the crown for the knees meet. Definitely.
Well, I'll
Without a
need
shadow
to
of a doubt.
change the juice, David.
I'll drain it and you can. We'll stick you
I'll
some.
put some of whatever in.
Do you want some dandelion and burdock in it?
I don't think so.
Okay. It was just a thought.
Very kind to offer.
I know. I like to be nice. Right. Before I bring you up to date on the eGrip, which I've been using all week, need to let you know what's coming up for the rest of the week. This is it. Echo. Woof.
Yeah,
Just got-
that's the colour I was trying to think of. Fuchsia.
Oh, we're not going down the fuchsia road again, are
yes, fuchsia.
we? Fuchsia. Oh, no. No, we had enough of
Not
fuchsia a
pink.
while back. Yes, it's not pink, it's fuchsia. Where have I heard that before? Yes.
That's cropped before, hasn't it?
Yeah, with me shirts.
You sure?
Everybody thought my shirts were pink and they weren't, they were fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
Right, Andrew Abrook has said, DD, check the Facebook page and share the pic. I can't check the Facebook page and share the pic, unfortunately. But everybody that's in chat, go into Facebook and check. I've got no idea what he's on about, and I haven't got a machine I can get onto Facebook without. No, because I don't use Facebook, so I don't know my login, so I can't get there. Indeed, yes, right. And I've. Yes.
So somebody
Joyetech
had a
UK
frying pan, you see.
I've got
Red
no idea.
frying pan.
You see, that's completely thrown me and confused me.
Sorry
now.
about that.
No, don't worry about it. Where was I going to go? Yes, people might have been wondering why there's a shadow on my top lip. I'm doing this Movember thing, where you grow a moustache for November.
Oh, you were saying,
The
yes.
Movember thing, just basically it's to highlight testicular cancer. And there's another thing as well, another campaign going on, grab a ghoulie. So the lads, you need to be getting your ghoulies checked. It's important. It doesn't really matter for us. We're past the age where you get it.
Are we? Oh.
Pretty much, yes.
Oh,
It
right.
happens mostly to younger lads, not the way older gentlemen.
Oh, I take some comfort in that.
Get to our age, if you haven't got it, you're not going to get it. I did have a scare years and years ago. Had a lump on one of them and went and got it checked, and it turned out it wasn't. But here's the thing, ladies, your husbands need you to check them regularly, every day.
I'm just desperately trying to equate this to the show, and it's difficult to.
Well, it was
not a sort of medical program.
was just
is it?
explain why I was growing the tash. Movember. And
yeah.
you know, the jewels are quite important. But let's get caught up on this little beastie here, which is the Joyetech eGrip. And you know it's called that because it says it there. Look, eGrip TM. Those of you that watched the show last week will know we had a quick run round it, and I've already been asked a couple of times in various different places how long the atomizer are lasting. I've just changed the atomizer today, and this thing's never been away from me. It's been in my pocket everywhere I've gone, and it is a very, very nice piece of kit. Let's go to closely up with 2. I've left it as Joyetech intended. I'll freely admit I've been swapping drip tips around on it, but the short one's quite nice. I do quite like it. It's easy to fill. The one gotcha I have found is that you do have to screw the atomizer in quite tightly, and I've lost the one I was using, the one that I've changed out. And we'll go to really, really closely up you can for this. I was getting gurgling something chronic. What?
My wife says, I'm the lump attached to mine.
That's from Fnwannas. My wife says I'm the lump attached to it. Well, either way, she's still got to check them. Lads, I'm working for you here. I'm doing my best.
Sorry.
Now, what happened was, I managed, through my own clumsiness, to drop the ring. This is a replacement one. I dropped the ring off the top of it, and I was getting gurglesome. It was horrible. And it was only when I took it out to check it, I realised that after I'd done the demo last week, I'd dried it off with the towel.
All right, yeah.
Used the towel to screw it out, and of course I'd pulled the little white thing off the top.
Right.
And that's been the only problem I've had. And I hadn't realised I'd done that. You do have to screw that bottom in, as I say, quite firmly, otherwise it might not fire, because the contacts, as we said last week, are in the annulus that goes round it. But in terms of thumbs up, it's getting a definite thumbs up for me. I'm liking it, and I'm sure anybody else that's got them in chat will also tell you whether they like them or they
Is
don't.
there much difference in the thickness?
Let me put them side by side on closely up you can, because we're nearly out of time. There you go. That's the thickness differences, right?
Yeah.
And that's the size difference. There's really, if I put that in front, button to button, there's not a fat lot to choose between.
Yes.
They're both very, very handy.
It looked, without putting them side by side, as if the fuchsia one was significantly thicker than the other, but it's not.
It's not. There's not much in it. There's not much in it at all. There you go, so you can see. Right, we've actually got to the end of the show.
We have, yes.
And
Passed quickly as usual.
It flies by. I don't know how it happens, but it does. It goes slotting by. I think that's because we're with people that we like.
Well, exactly. I'm just... Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I just...
Yeah, it's not go as you please, you know.
I put them down as well.
And that bugger's coming back.
Yes, of course.
Bloody hell. Give him a top pocket and he takes all your mods.
It was just a feely thing. That was all.
Oh.
Is that all right?
I'm seeing out. Thank you to everybody for joining us for the last hour and a bit. It's been a pleasure to be in your company and a pleasure to be in your company yet again.
Oh,
I've enjoyed my little bit self. I hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, tell your friends. If you haven't, tell us. Because if we don't know, we can't put it right. And if you have enjoyed it, get loads and loads. I want to see 20,000 people watching this show live.
that would be something.
We'll have the bandwidth. YouTube keeps telling us that, so that'll be great. It's been amazing spending the last hour with you. As I said, thank you so much for watching, and it only remains for me to thank Kat and Sav in the background for making sure that it actually went out. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Sav. You know I love you both. Until we see you next time, or until we see you on Saturday at the Naze Mate, be there or be an oblet spheroid. Vape on, vape hard, and don't let the bastards grind you down. Till next time, take care, look after each other, be good.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Save the Cigs, sponsors of the Haze Hour. SaveTheCigs.co.uk, sponsors of the Haze Hour.